Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, lightning flashing, winds howling, rain pelting your skin, and yet you remain completely unfazed. No matter what chaos swirls around you, your mind is a fortress, impenetrable and calm. Sounds impossible. It's not. The most unshakable people aren't born that way. They've trained their minds to master control over their emotions, reactions, and thoughts. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do the same. Every little comment, every minor setback, if these things get under your skin, you're giving away your power. Life throws relentless distractions, criticisms, failures, and roadblocks at us daily. But here's the truth: the strongest people don't have fewer problems. They've simply mastered how they react. Imagine walking through life unfazed, no overthinking, no emotional outbursts, just complete control. By the end of this video, you'll know how to train your mind to act as if nothing bothers you, so you stop feeling trapped by your emotions and start owning them instead. Because once you master this skill, nothing and no one will ever have control over you again. Let's dive deeper into why mastering indifference isn't just about ignoring what happens around you. It's about choosing where your energy goes. Every day you wake up with a limited amount of mental, emotional, and physical energy. If you waste it reacting to every slight, every opinion, every bit of drama thrown your way, you end up drained, anxious, and powerless. Mastering indifference is the skill of guarding your energy like it's gold, because it is. It's understanding that not everything deserves a reaction. Not everyone deserves access to your inner peace. Think about it. We live in a world obsessed with noise. Everywhere you turn, someone's shouting for attention on social media, in conversations, even in random interactions. People crave opinions, validation, judgment, and constant engagement because without it, they feel invisible. Society teaches us that our worth is tied to how loudly we respond, how quickly we argue, how desperately we seek approval. But here's the brutal truth: none of that noise builds real strength. None of it fuels real success. Real freedom comes when you realize that most of those things, those comments, those criticisms, those fake expectations simply don't matter. They're dust in the wind, here today, forgotten tomorrow. When someone insults you or criticizes you unfairly, the instinct is to react, to defend yourself, to argue, to prove them wrong. But pause for a second. Does reacting actually serve you? Does it change anything? Or does it just anchor you deeper into their chaos? True strength lies in restraint. True power is being so centered in who you are that you don't need to defend yourself against every fool who misunderstands you. Walking away silently, untouched, unbothered, leaves you in control. It shows the world and yourself that your value isn't up for debate. That's real power, choosing your peace over their noise. Take a moment to visualize this scenario. You're in a heated argument. The other person is shouting, trying to provoke you, throwing insults like punches, hoping to rattle your composure and drag you into their chaos. You can feel the tension rising, the old reflex to shout back, defend yourself, prove a point. It's almost automatic, the surge of adrenaline, the tightening of your fists, the rising heat in your chest. Every instinct tells you to meet fire with fire. But then you remember something crucial, something they don't know. You control the battlefield inside your mind. This is where most people lose. They think strength is in the reaction. They think power is measured by who can shout louder, who can insult deeper, who can dominate the argument. But the real battle isn't happening out there. It's happening inside you. And if you lose control of yourself, you've already lost the war, no matter what words you throw back. So what do? Do you let their words dictate your mood, steal your peace, and hook you into an endless emotional tug of war? Or do you stay still, calm and grounded, watching their storm pass like a breeze that can't even shake you? You smile not because you're weak or passive, but because you know the deeper truth: their words hold no weight unless you choose to give them weight. Their anger is not yours to carry. Their chaos is not yours to absorb. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you stop feeling. It doesn't mean you turn cold or numb. No, it means you own your emotions so completely that no one else can hijack them. It's the discipline of recognizing what deserves your energy and what doesn't. It's knowing that your anger, your sadness, your joy, they belong to you. They're not to be given away like loose change to every fool who demands a piece of you. Your inner world is sacred. It's a fortress built brick by brick through every moment of discipline, every time you chose patience over rage, every time you chose silence over a meaningless fight. And inside that fortress, you are untouchable. Once you adopt this mindset, something shifts at your core. Stress decreases because you realize you are no longer at the mercy of every petty circumstance. Clarity increases because your mind is no longer fogged by emotional noise. Decisions get easier because you're not reacting, you're responding with intention. And life's challenges? They stop feeling like battles you have to fight just to survive. They start looking like puzzles, problems you were built to solve with patience, strategy, and unwavering calm. Master this, and nothing outside you will ever have the power to break what's inside you. You become the eye of the storm, still, powerful, impossible to move. People around you will notice it too. They'll sense something different about you. They'll throw their usual tricks, insults, judgments, manipulations, and watch in frustration as you stand there, steady, unshaken, giving them nothing back. They won't understand why they can't reach you. They'll try harder, but it won't matter. Their chaos will only echo in the empty space between you. Because real dominance isn't loud. It doesn't need to prove itself. Real dominance is quiet. It's measured. It's in the way you don't react. It's in the way you walk away from noise without losing an ounce of dignity. It's in the way you hold your energy so high that nothing beneath you can pull you down. Understand this. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every opinion needs your attention. The moment you realize this, you free yourself. You stop bleeding energy into things beneath you. You rise. You move differently, lighter, sharper, more precise. You stop looking for validation. You stop chasing approval. You stop fearing judgment. You start living on your terms. Calm, clear, unstoppable. The world around you will keep trying to pull you back into chaos. But you'll be too focused, too detached, too in control to even flinch. Because once you master indifference, not through coldness, but through inner mastery, you finally understand. The only thing that ever had the power to disturb you was your permission. And you're done giving it. But let's be honest, cultivating this level of control doesn't happen overnight. It's not a switch you flip, it's a discipline you forge. It takes daily practice, relentless focus, and an unwavering commitment to mastering yourself. You have to rewire your instincts, move from reacting impulsively to responding deliberately. It's a slow burn, not an instant transformation. But every ounce of effort you put into mastering your emotions pays off in ways most people will never experience, because real power comes from control, not chaos. It starts with training your mind daily, not once in a while, not when it's convenient, daily. Mental training is like sharpening a blade. You have to do it consistently or you lose your edge. You practice it in the small, unnoticed moments, when someone cuts you off in traffic, when your Wi-Fi lags during an important call, when someone makes a passive-aggressive comment. These are your training grounds. These are your reps in the gym of mental toughness. Every irritation is an opportunity to get stronger. Every frustration is a chance to level up your self-control. You don't wait for major life crises to test your strengths. You build it quietly, daily, when no one is watching. Every time something small irritates you, a slow internet connection, traffic jams, rude comments, you have a decision to make, and that decision shapes who you become. Do you explode, complain, fall into negativity, or do you recognize it for what it is, a test of your discipline, and choose calm instead? That choice, made hundreds of times over, is how mastery is built. Not through grand speeches or heroic gestures, but through quiet victories over yourself every single day. Pause before reacting. That's where the shift begins. That split second between stimulus and response is your moment of power. Instead of immediately feeding your anger or frustration, you stop. You breathe. You step outside the storm and ask yourself, does this situation truly affect my long-term goals? Is this inconvenience big enough to deserve my energy? Most of the time, the answer is a clear and resounding no. And in that moment, by choosing to withhold your reaction, you choose strength over weakness. You refuse to let temporary discomfort control your permanent state of mind. Ask yourself, does this situation truly affect my long-term goals? Is my reaction necessary, or am I just surrendering my power out of habit? You realize most things that trigger you are completely irrelevant to where you're headed. Getting caught in small dramas only derails your momentum. It wastes the energy you could be investing into building, creating, and evolving. By asking better questions in heated moments, you snap yourself out of emotional autopilot and step into conscious leadership over your life. Consistently choosing non-reaction builds armor against life's trivialities. Every time you stay calm when you could have exploded, you lay another brick in the fortress of your mind. Every time you refuse to get baited into meaningless conflict, you strengthen your foundation. And brick by brick, moment by moment, you become a person who is no longer controlled by circumstances, no longer vulnerable to every gust of emotional wind. Over time, you'll find yourself less and less shaken by external events, not because the world has gotten easier, but because you've gotten stronger, because you've built yourself from the inside out. You've learned that detachment isn't about caring less, it's about caring smarter. It's about choosing what's worthy of your emotional investment and what's not. You don't numb yourself, you empower yourself. You stay connected to your purpose and let the small stuff slide right off your armor. And that's when life changes. Not because challenges disappear, but because they no longer define you. You define yourself. Visualization is another powerful tool, one of the most underrated weapons you can use to build this strength. Picture yourself moving through life unaffected. Really see it. See yourself walking into rooms with quiet confidence, not needing to dominate, not needing to react, just being steady, calm, unshakable. Picture the insults thrown your way bouncing off you like harmless echoes. Picture the setbacks rolling past you like water over stone. Picture pressure building around you and you standing taller, breathing deeper, focusing harder. Over and over again, reinforce this image in your mind. Why? Because the mind is incredibly powerful. It doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. What you repeatedly visualize, your brain starts to accept as normal, as truth, as your new standard. And if you keep feeding it the image of resilience, of calm mastery, of untouchable focus, you will become that. It won't be an act anymore. It will be who you are. Let people wonder why you're not rattled. Let them question how you stay composed when others fall apart. Let them try to pull you into drama only to find you silent and smiling, already 2 steps beyond them. Because when you show that nothing bothers you, you take control of the game. You no longer play by their emotional rules. You set the tone. You hold the frame. You become an enigma someone others admire but can never quite figure out. And in that mystery lies a quiet, unstoppable strength. The kind of strength that doesn't need validation because it radiates from within. True power isn't about domination or aggression. That's a game for the weak, for those who mistake noise for influence. Real power is about presence, a presence so undeniable that it commands respect without ever having to demand it. It's the kind of presence that makes people lower their voices when you walk into a room, the kind that makes them think twice before they bring their chaos near you. Mastering emotional detachment isn't about shutting yourself off from the world. It's about sharpening your awareness, refining your focus, and elevating your standards. It allows you to navigate life with confidence, with quiet authority, and with an unshakable resolve that others can feel before you even speak a word. You move differently not because you're cold, but because you're clear. But remember, achieving this isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. It's not about building walls, it's about building a higher level of consciousness. It's about prioritizing what truly matters in your life. Your purpose, your growth, your peace of mind. When you set clear priorities, you make it impossible for petty distractions to sink their claws into you. The noise fades, the drama evaporates, the chaos of the world loses its grip on your mind. Your energy becomes focused. Your actions become intentional. Your movement becomes unstoppable. You stop wasting energy on battles that don't matter. You stop handing your emotions to people who haven't earned the right to touch them. You become a force, silent, disciplined, immovable. And when you reach that level, life doesn't get easier, you just get so much stronger that nothing can touch you the way it once did. That's the difference between those who survive life and those who command it. Now let's talk about criticism, one of the biggest tests of emotional resilience. Most people crumble at the first sign of disapproval. A single comment can send them spiraling into self-doubt. They internalize the words of others, allowing every negative opinion to become a mirror reflecting their worth. They modify their actions, shrink their ambitions, and second-guess their dreams, all because someone, somewhere didn't approve. But here's the truth most people miss. Criticism only holds as much power as you choose to give it. It is powerless without your permission. Strong individuals filter criticism through logic, not emotion. They don't absorb every opinion like a sponge. Instead, they act like a gatekeeper, evaluating every piece of feedback with a discerning mind. They assess it objectively, strip away the emotional venom, and look for any sliver of truth they can use to sharpen their skills. If the criticism holds value, they extract the lesson. If not, they discard it without a second thought. They understand that not all voices deserve attention because not all voices come from wisdom. Most criticism comes from people standing on the sidelines, people who have never dared to do what you're doing, who judge from a place of fear, failure, or envy. Their words reflect their own limitations, not yours. To handle criticism effectively, you must practice detachment. The next time someone criticizes you, whether fairly or unfairly, pause. Don't react. Don't defend. Don't absorb it blindly. Instead, step back mentally and observe. Ask yourself, is there real value in their words? Is this someone whose opinion I respect, whose experience exceeds mine? If the answer is yes, absorb the lesson. Sharpen your blade. If the answer is no, let their words dissolve into the air, irrelevant and powerless. This habit, the habit of detached analysis, frees you from the exhausting emotional burden of needing approval. It builds emotional armor that keeps you moving forward no matter what noise swirls around you. And another pillar of handling criticism is self-confidence. When you believe in your mission, your character, and your abilities, external opinions lose their grip. Your validation no longer comes from applause or agreement. It comes from within. True confidence isn't about thinking you're better than others. It's about knowing that you don't need others to tell you who you are. Once you grasp this, shallow criticism bounces off you like rain off armor. It doesn't penetrate. It doesn't linger. It doesn't shape you. Pressure is inevitable. You can't live a meaningful life and avoid pressure. It's part of the process of becoming someone greater. Some people break under it. Some people fold at the first sign of adversity. But the strong, the truly strong, remain unshaken. Why? Because they prepare before the battle begins. They don't naively hope for smooth paths. They expect hardship. They understand that pressure isn't a glitch in the system. It is the system. When you expect challenges, you stop being surprised by them. You stop wasting energy on why me and start investing energy into what's next. You stop viewing obstacles as personal attacks and start viewing them as inevitable stepping stones. The key to handling pressure is detaching from the illusion of control. Understand this deeply. Not everything will go according to your plan. People will disappoint you. Obstacles will blindside you. Systems will fail. You will fall short at times. But none of that is a signal to collapse. It's a signal to adapt. It's a call to sharpen your strategy, to breathe deeper, to calculate smarter, not to react emotionally. Think of a seasoned warrior entering battle. He doesn't expect an easy fight. He expects resistance, unexpected ambushes, and days where everything goes wrong. But because he's mentally prepared for chaos, he's not rattled when it comes. His focus remains locked on execution, on doing his job with precision, regardless of what unfolds around him. Wishful thinking has no place on the battlefield. Only preparation, discipline, and calm execution matter. You must adopt the same mindset. Life is your battlefield. The world will test you. It will throw stress, failure, betrayal, and unexpected blows your way. That's guaranteed. But if you've trained yourself mentally before the storm arrives, nothing will catch you off guard. You'll see pressure for what it is, a tool, not a threat. While others scramble in panic, you'll move with precision. While others react, you'll respond. While others collapse under the weight, you'll stand taller, clearer, stronger. Because emotional mastery doesn't eliminate pressure, it makes you the kind of person who thrives under it. Silence is another superpower often overlooked in today's noisy world. We live in a time where people feel the need to fill every second with words, opinions, noise, desperate to be heard, desperate to validate themselves through sound. But real strength often speaks the loudest through silence. In conversations, the person who speaks less holds more control. Every pause, every moment of withheld reaction builds tension. Silence forces others to second-guess themselves. It makes them uncomfortable, uncertain. They start projecting their fears, revealing their insecurities, while you remain a mystery. Words reveal, but silence conceals. Every word you speak gives something away: your emotions, your intentions, your weaknesses. But silence cloaks you in power. It keeps your opponents guessing. It forces people to lean in, to wonder, to imagine what you're thinking, and often their imagination will punish them more than anything you could have said aloud. When you master the art of silence, you shift power dynamics without lifting a finger. You gain control over conversations, negotiations, and even conflicts. You dictate the rhythm. You decide when to reveal and when to withhold. Silence becomes your armor and your weapon at the same time. Next time someone insults you, tries to bait you into an argument, or throws shade your way, stay silent. Resist the instinct to defend, explain, or retaliate. Most people expect anger. They expect you to engage, to react, to validate their attack with your attention. But when you respond with silence, when you give them nothing, you rob them of their weapon. They swing at air, they lose their footing. They realize they have no power over you because you refuse to meet them on their level. And that's a power very few ever master. Finally, let's talk about letting go of what you can't control, one of the highest forms of mental strength. Suffering, more often than not, isn't caused by life itself. It's caused by our refusal to accept life as it is. We suffer because we cling to outcomes, to expectations, to the illusion that we can control everything. We script how we think things should go, and when reality dares to defy that script, we feel frustration, disappointment, even despair. But life doesn't obey our scripts. It moves according to its own laws, not our desires. True mental strength lies in releasing the grip, in understanding that attachment to control is a losing battle. Picture a river flowing through a rocky landscape. It doesn't crash against every stone. It doesn't stop and rage against the obstacles. It simply flows around them, adapts, finds a new path forward. And eventually, over time, even the strongest rocks are shaped by the persistent, patient flow of water, not force, but adaptation. That's how you must approach life. Yes, plan. Yes, strive. Yes, pursue your goals with passion and discipline. But when reality doesn't unfold the way you imagined, don't resist. Don't cling. Adapt, shift, keep moving forward with purpose, not bitterness. Some things will happen regardless of how much you stress over them. Some people will leave. Some opportunities will vanish. Some battles will be lost. But your strength isn't defined by your ability to prevent these things. It's defined by your ability to respond calmly, strategically, and without losing yourself. Resistance drains energy. Adaptation multiplies it. When you let go of what you can't control, you free your mind from chains you were never meant to carry. You liberate your spirit from the exhausting burden of trying to force outcomes. You stop fighting reality and start mastering it. And in that freedom, in that flow, lies a power that very few ever taste. The power of moving through life not with frantic desperation, but with quiet, unstoppable precision. Here's the ultimate call to action. Start building your unshakable mind today, not tomorrow, not when life feels easier, today. Because every day you delay, life is shaping you anyway, either by default or by discipline. Begin with small steps, tiny, consistent victories that others won't notice, but that will change you from the inside out. Practice pausing before reacting. Teach yourself that not everything deserves your energy. Learn to recognize the space between stimulus and response and own it. Commit to habits that reinforce discipline and resilience. Wake up early even when you don't feel like it. Stick to your goals even when no one's watching. Build a routine that sharpens your mind the same way a blade is sharpened with steady, deliberate friction. Meditate to sharpen your focus. Silence the noise so you can hear the whisper of your true instincts. Exercise to strengthen your body and your mind, not just for aesthetics, but for grit, for endurance, for the unbreakable connection between your physical strength and your mental toughness. Read to expand your perspective. Feed your mind the wisdom of those who've conquered themselves before you. Keep your word to yourself, no matter how small the promise. Every time you do, you teach your subconscious that your words have power, that when you say you'll do something, it gets done. Over time, these small acts compound into something extraordinary. Brick by brick, day by day, you build a mind that doesn't flinch, a mind that doesn't crack under pressure, a mind that leads, adapts, conquers. An unshakable mind. Remember, the world doesn't belong to the loudest. It doesn't belong to the flashiest. It belongs to those who master themselves. The ones who don't just survive the chaos, but who thrive in it, move through it, and bend it to their will. So the real question is, which side will you choose? Will you continue living on autopilot, reacting impulsively, letting emotions and outside forces dictate your internal world? Or will you rise above it all? Will you step into the arena with an unshakable spirit, calm, clear, unstoppable? The choice is yours. Hit subscribe below and join thousands of others committed to mastering their minds and living life on their terms, not the world's. Together, we're not just building a community, we're building a movement and army of unshakable individuals ready to conquer anything life throws our way. No more waiting, no more hoping, no more second guessing. Are you ready? Good. Let's begin.